The year is 180 AD. The Roman Colosseum is packed with 50,000 screaming spectators. On the sand below, gladiators spill blood and lions tear into prisoners. Emperor Commodus himself is ready to join the fray. It is, without a doubt, the greatest spectacle the ancient world has ever known. But let's introduce one critical modification. Tucked away in the tunnels beneath the arena floor is a sight no one could possibly anticipate. A modern Navy SEAL fire team who've been dropped into a battle they're completely unprepared for. What transpires when the most advanced special operations team on Earth is unleashed during one of history's most brutal blood sports? Can they possibly survive wave after wave of gladiators, wild beasts, and the Emperor's Guard? Or are they just one small team pitted against an entire empire? To begin, let's examine what exactly has just been transported into the 1st century. A modern SEAL fire team consists of 4 operators who are trained to absolute perfection in every form of violence known to science. They can run 1.5 miles in under 10 minutes while carrying roughly 40 kilograms, almost 90 pounds of gear. They can shoot a penny from 300 meters away and coordinate their attacks using encrypted radios. Keep in mind that for the Romans watching, 16 centuries before Benjamin Franklin flew his kite, a radio would be indistinguishable from telepathy. Each SEAL is armed with an M4A1 carbine, a selective fire rifle capable of shooting up to 955.56 millimeters rounds per minute on full auto. One SEAL also carries a fully automatic Mk48 machine gun with a 100-round 7.62 millimeters NATO single magazine. For close encounters, each operator also has a 9mm sidearm, in addition to combat knives, 2 to 3 fragmentation grenades, and one SEAL's rifle is fitted with a 40mm grenade launcher. All this firepower is protected by modern ballistic vests equipped with ceramic trauma plates designed to stop bullets traveling 3 times the speed of sound. Even their helmets are Kevlar, strong enough to stop a bullet. Their gear is rounded out with night vision goggles, tactical gloves, eye protection, and boots, along with tourniquets, bandages, and enough morphine to shrug off a grenade blast. Standing against them is the epitome of Rome's killing floor, professional gladiators who have turned stabbing into an art form. There are Murmillos with massive shields and short swords, Retiari who dance with nets and tridents, and Thracians with curved swords designed to bypass shields and pierce organs. These aren't merely criminals forced to fight. Many are trained killers who have survived dozens of these brutal contests. As dawn breaks, the SEAL team steps out onto the sand. Their first encounter is a venatio, or beast hunt, intended as a warm-up. 2 starved African lions are released, expecting an easy feast on lightly armed humans. The crowd erupts as the SEALs form a defensive semicircle, their rifles raised. The first lion charges. At 30 meters, a SEAL fires 2 quick shots, dropping the lion mid-leap. The second lion hesitates, having just witnessed the very first gunshot 9 centuries too soon. Another SEAL steps forward and puts 3 rounds into its center mass, instantly turning the king of beasts into a rug. The SEALs walk away without even breaking a sweat, having expended only 5 rounds. The crowd is stunned into silence. Spectators whisper, wondering if the SEALs are gods, while others suspect witchcraft. Commodus watches, visibly annoyed that strangers have so trivialized his favorite blood sport. For the midday entertainment, 10 condemned criminals are pushed into the arena. They are given swords, clubs, and a few shields, and are promised freedom if they kill the outsiders, a lie desperate men are willing to believe. The convicts fan out to surround the SEALs, who quickly form a tight, back-to-back circle, each covering a 90 arc. This is their defensive perimeter. The arena is about to become a kill box. As the attackers close in, the SEALs open semi-automatic fire at 20 meters, intentionally placing each shot to conserve ammo. The lead convict raises his sword to charge, but a bullet punches through his chest before he can take a single step. 2 more rush forward and meet the same fate. Within 10 seconds, half the attackers are eliminated, and the survivors freeze. One SEAL gestures with his rifle and shouts in English. The tone is universal. Drop your weapons. 3 convicts immediately comply and retreat. The rest, driven by desperation, attempt a final charge. The SEAL team anticipates this, switching to full auto and ending the assault before it closes even half the distance. They've expended roughly 30 rounds in total and are uninjured. Next, the professional gladiators enter the arena reel killers dedicated to close quarters combat. The first wave consists of a heavily armored Murmillo and a nimble Ricciarius working in tandem. The Ricciarius casts his net while his partner charges. At 40 meters, the Ricciarius, wearing only a loincloth, takes 2 rounds to the chest and drops instantly. The Murmillo's large shield, surprisingly, deflects the first shot, surprising everyone, including the SEAL who fired it. The SEAL switches to full auto, spraying a line of fire from the gladiator's legs up to his head. The man crashes into the sand 10 meters away. Immediately, another 4 gladiators and an archer enter. The SEALs prioritize the ranged threat, and a 5.56 round hits the bowman square in the chest before he can draw back his first arrow. The remaining 4 charge from multiple angles, hoping to surround the super soldiers. A SEAL pulls the pin on a fragmentation grenade and lobs it at the 2 gladiators approaching from his left. Sand fountains into the air as 2 gladiators cease to exist. Front row spectators are pelted with debris. The 2 surviving gladiators stumble, their ears ringing, and ACAL drops one with a quick burst. Amidst the chaos, another manages to get close enough to slash at a SEAL's arm. But the blade skitters off the reinforced fabric, leaving barely a scratch before he is dropped as well. The final wave brings 2 champions, including a provocator in full armor who tries to be smart, using cover and advancing in zigzags. Accounting for the heavy armor, ACAL fires a 40mm grenade from an underbarrel launcher, which gets the SEALs 1 step closer to victory. Meanwhile, the last champion actually reaches the SEALs in a desperate charge and manages to thrust his sword at an unarmored leg. The SEAL rifle butts him in the face while his teammate double taps the gladiator from the side. One SEAL is left with an open wound on his calf. It is painful, but manageable after field dressing. The SEAL team is now down by 100 rounds and 2 grenades. They still have plenty of ammo, but they are starting to feel the heat, and the 90 pounds of gear is getting no easier to carry. Commodus orders a full military spectacle. 20 infantry in formation, 2 war chariots with archers and cavalry. The SEALs fall back for cover and prepare for war. As the gates open, the enemy advances in a pincer movement, but the SEAL team has already acted. 2 fragmentation grenades are tossed into their tight formation. Twin explosions scythe through the ranks, instantly bringing down 12 men. Limbs are scattered across the arena. The SEALs switch to rapid fire, dropping soldiers as quickly as they can. A chariot thunders in, and the archer manages to put an arrow into a SEAL's shoulder joint, one of the few gaps in their armor. It's the first serious wound. The injured SEAL switches to one-handed shooting while his team concentrates fire on the chariot. The horses fall, taking the chariot down with them. The second chariot meets the same fate. When the smoke clears, the SEALs are the only ones standing, but they are hurting and exhausted. At this point, the SEAL team is down to about 60 rounds each. Sensing their weakness, Emperor Commodus himself enters the arena, accompanied by 10 Praetorian guards. The crowd holds its breath. The SEALs each have 1 rifle magazine and a couple of pistol mags. Without hesitation, they form up one last time, back to back, prepared to go down swinging. Commodus taunts them in Latin, attempting to make their fall a spectacle, and the SEALs respond with a burst of automatic fire. Two Praetorians absorb the bullets meant for their emperor. One round grazes Commodus's arm, and the crowd gasps. Commodus screams at his guards, who launch their heavy javelins. One catches a CAL in the thigh, knocking him to the sand. The SEALs empty the last of their magazines, point blank into the charging guards, before switching to pistol fire. Commodus himself moves in for the kill on the downed operator, but another SEAL puts a 9mm round into the emperor's chest. His imperial armor is punched through with a clear hole, and Commodus staggers. The wounded SEAL yanks out his combat knife and drives it into Commodus's throat through a gap in his armor. The Emperor of Rome dies, gurgling on American steel. The remaining guards freeze, and the SEALs eliminate them in the confusion. When the dust settles, the Navy SEALs stand victorious in the Colosseum, having handled the best Rome had to offer. Or what do you think would happen? And if you're curious about what would happen if a modern submarine fought the Spanish Armada, check out that video. Thanks for watching.